big election coming up. We've got one of the, I guess you'd call one of the key candidates with us today, Judge Roy Moore. Judge Moore, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule
to
sit down with little old Bob Mosca here on Time of Your Life and At Your Service TV shows. Well, let's get right at it.
Okay.
Okay. When you get to the Senate, it's the United States Senate, there's some things that are going to be so dominant, and it could be, let's take the health care bill, for instance. Now, you said recently, now correct me if I'm wrong, there's nothing in the Constitution about a health care bill.
No, I carry the Constitution around with me, and there's nothing in there about health care. Is it the role of government? I would say it's not. And indeed, government messes up a lot more than it fixes, especially in business. And I think with the Health Care Act, that's certainly the case. We're here, the people voted to repeal Obamacare. They saw the prices going skyrocketing up, the quality going down, and I think that's what will happen when government takes over a business. Look at the Veterans Administration.
Sure. Yeah, it's a good example.
They can't run the hospitals. So we're going to give them the entire healthcare system? I think not. I think the solution to the healthcare system is first to repeal Obamacare immediately. And if you have to wait some time for some people to get insurance that they had under, I understand that. But it should be repealed. Replaced, I do not think it needs to be replaced. I think instead we need to open up state lines to healthcare insurers across state lines. Why is it not like that now? Well, it's not like that now because in 1945, Congress passed the McCarran-Ferguson Act, which allowed the states to regulate health insurance. That was a response to the antitrust things going on at that time. And basically monopolies have the states. Now, anybody knows in the monopoly, if you have one restaurant in town, for example, the food's probably not going to be so good and it's going to cost a lot and your service may not be quite adequate. But if you increase the number of food servers, then your price goes down, your food quality goes up because of competition, and the service is better. People do that the same way in healthcare. We need to open up the state. You know, the District of Columbia has a healthcare exchange much larger than any of the states. They offer some 20 personal policies and over 151 business policies. And Congress can take theirs to the healthcare exchange in DC.
Because they have all the options.
Well, they have all the options, yes. And we can't. And I know some of the states, Missouri and Iowa, I believe, have applied to let some of their counties go to the healthcare exchange. Well, the solution's simple. Bring back the free enterprise system in healthcare.
Well, I know we talk about the premiums, but what people are not talking about, it's not just the premiums, it's the deductibles.
Oh yeah.
We don't hear much about these $6,000 and $7,000 and $8,000 and $9,000 deductibles. Doesn't matter what the premium is if you can't use it because you don't have the $6,000 or $7,000 to begin with.
That's right. And that's the problem. That's the problem with government running healthcare.
Okay.
It's socialized medicine. And historically, the Republican Party said we don't have socialized medicine. All of a sudden, the Republicans are picking up on the Democratic program, and I think that's wrong.
Okay, let's talk about immigration. This is a big item with the wall and not the wall, and what kind of wall, and who's going to pay for the wall, and immigration in general. What do you say?
Well, I think illegal immigration is just that. It's illegal. And it has to be stopped. We've had open door policies, and we've had a president, Obama, that just opened the doors to the flood of illegal immigrants. And it's been a problem. And now we're trying to address the problem. It's a problem not only in security, it's a problem in health care, it's a problem in many ways.
Education.
That's right. And we've got to go back to restricting immigration, just like we always have. And we've got to allow the states to do their job. We can actually use the United States military and the National Guards and the militias of states to protect their borders. And I think we should allow that. And if we need a wall, then we have to build a wall.
You know, education is an important factor. And I said this many times on my program, is that the state of Alabama, and now this covers, the state of Alabama's education system is very similar to that in San Francisco. And why should the state of Alabama have the same education program as San Francisco, which is the most liberal Marin County, than you could think of.
Yeah, well, I think education, the state of Alabama, the state of Texas, California, have plenty of people that know how to educate children.
Yeah.
It is not within the confines of federal jurisdiction. Federal government has nothing to do with education. And it's not in the Constitution. It's not a power given them under Article 1, Section 8
Right.
of the Constitution. Congress can't do that, and neither can the federal government, but that's exactly what's happening. They're dictating to the states, taking our state tax money and giving it back if we follow the education program they propose.
Right.
Well, the education they propose is not what the people of Alabama want.
Right.
And yet they're forced to accept it to get their money back.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be stopped. I think the federal government has no role in education, and I will consistently stand for that proposition. That belongs to the people of the states. And when the people of the states take it back over, we'll have a better education system, simply because we'll have competition.
Right.
It's
the charter
like the
school
free
system.
enterprise system.
Yeah.
You'll have competition among the states. You'll have states that strive to do better. As it stands now, the federal government's running it. It's not going to be good.
The charter school thing, I know that Obama stopped the charter schools in Washington that was successful to the people in Washington. And it just amazed me that they just didn't continue it. Now, Alabama does allow charter schools, but we don't see it happening yet.
Well, I think that charter schools, private schools, religious schools, homeschooling, I think they're all very valuable. I think parent is basically the one in charge of the education of the child.
Right.
And if he wants to send them to a state school, he can, or she can. If he wants private schooling or any other kind of schooling, religious training, they should be able to educate their children.
Right.
This idea that we can one size fits all and the federal government can send down Common Core
Right.
and tell us that we've got to accept that just is unacceptable to me. I think the state of Alabama should reject it. I think the other states should reject it. And I think federal government should get out of the business. If we got a problem with the federal government, it's because they've got their hands in too much and they can't run what they got anyway. So we need to go back to an understanding of the Constitution and what the states can do and what the federal government can do.
Well, we got about a minute left. I'd like you to ask for your vote. Ask the audience for your vote. I don't, this is your camera right here. So anything you'd like to say to them, this would be a good time to do it.
Well, I would appreciate your vote. I'd appreciate your vote because I do have qualifications in the military. I have qualifications in the judicial branch. I think we need something in Washington that we're not getting. We need action. And I believe that we can stop this stonewalling that's preventing these programs from being implemented that we need. And I think the Republican Party is part of the problem. And I think the Republican establishment does not necessarily want me. And I think that they don't want me because they know I will speak the truth and I will stand for what I believe in. And I think that's what I've done. I've done that in defense of my country. I've done that in defense of my job as a justice and a judge. I protected the rights and liberties of the people, and I'll continue to do so, and I'll continue to do it for you. And I appreciate your vote on August 15th. Thank you.